Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of online racing in project cars. For this episode I want to show you one single race, and I will show you this race in full, including my qualifying lap. As you can see, we are in the GT Endurance class and we're racing at Watkins Glen in New York. I really like this racetrack. It's a high-speed racetrack, as you can see, with really tough corners. You need to have a lot of downforce here to be able to get those corners flat out. We will just start right away with my qualifying lap. As you can see, we're already through the first chicane, now into the right and left handers here. This race will be absolutely insane, as you will see. I did start on pole, as you will see in a few seconds, and finally, I'm really getting better at driving in project cars too. Well, not in that corner, of course, but I'm finally starting to feel the car with my controller, and I'm finally starting to judge the corners way better than before, and therefore this lap actually is pretty nice. Almost flat for here. Had to brake a bit here into the last corner. Really nice line there, and you will see that my best lap will be a 1:43.375, which at this moment is almost 20 seconds quicker than the others, but well, the difference will shrink to around 1.3 seconds. But no one can touch me now. We are starting at pole position, from pole position in the GT Endurance class, and let's directly skip to the race. We do have an 8-lap race, at Watkins Glen. At P3 there is a white car. I need to be really cautious with those white livery cars. They are usually rammers. Behind me there's carnage already while we approach corner 1. I'm on the inside here, got shoved wide by the Porsche there. But Porsche therefore overtakes me, so I'm down to P2 after the two first corners. But in this long left-hander I don't quite judge it right, but he completely misjudges, sends himself into the wall. Therefore his exit is really weak, and I'm back in P1 going to the chicane. Now he almost pushes me. High speed chicane here. My line is pretty weak through here, therefore I go off the throttle to let him pass maybe, but he's way worse than me in this corner, therefore he's not overtaking here into this long left-hander, judging it just right. Good line. And after the few first corners I'm still in P1, and the only two cars that can be dangerous for me at this time are P2 and P3, 2/10 and 1.3 tenths away from me. I may need to work on gaining some time compared to them. Therefore, I need to be a bit more aggressive here. The Porsche just sent it once again, but he didn't manage to overtake me. Therefore, I am still in P1 to the long left-hander before the last right-hander, last corner, judging it really well to start finish, and this is the end of lap 1. So far we are in P1 still. Let's work on increasing the gap to the car behind. P3 seems to be not out of the race, but he made a pretty bad mistake. So Connor is 6 seconds behind me now. So the only dangerous car for me basically is P2, the Porsche right behind me to the chicane, almost flat, rolling in here, really getting the apex just right into the long right-hander. that one wasn't too good, to be honest. The line I did there was way too wide. I need to do this better next time. This one was quite okay. And now we're approaching the slowest part of the racetrack. Only 70 to 80 miles an hour in this corner. Managed to get through here just fine. And I gained half a second. And the car behind me now has... Yeah, he did get a penalty for... I don't know what reason. He probably just cut a corner or something. But that makes life a bit more comfortable for me here. Now he's increasing the gap. Going off gas, maybe he had to prevent another penalty for corner cutting. I don't know. Anyway, at the end of lap 2, we are more than 2 seconds ahead already. That is looking really good. Approaching corner 1, getting this one just right. That one was good cornering here. Therefore, high speed through the long right-hander. Really small S's up the hill, over this little crest to the long straight here, and we are all ready. 3 seconds ahead into the chicane. Really well driven, really good line here. The right-hander, right downhill corner. Actually not that well once again. Had to work a bit on not spinning out there. And P2. What did you do down there? You crashed, I guess, or you spun out, because you are now at P4. And the new P2, new car on second position is actually Connor once again. But he's more than 8 seconds behind me by now. This race really starts to get comfortable at this point. This corner was kind of well driven. But as you can see, if you look at my engine damage display, you will notice that I already got 2 damage points on my display. That's because the reason for that is I closed my radiators too much. I should have learned from the last Let's Play episode where my engine barely survived the race. But I closed the radiators way too much in here in this race to increase the performance of the engine. But you can see 4 damage points already. This will only increase in the next 2 to 3 laps. Therefore, I now need to start... I need to start being a bit more cautious and a bit more sensitive with my engine. So maybe not going fully flat through every corner I can get. That was a corner cut from my side. Yep, the stewards call me out for that. But this corner finally was just right. Did not get off gas. And now we approach Mr. Rammer. He fell down to P9, and we will meet him again in this race later on. And this little meeting in a few laps will not be the most positive meeting on this, not the most positive meeting ever, of course. You can see my engine already is at 8 damage points now, and we increased the gap to P2 to actually 12 seconds. 13 seconds even. So the race really looks comfortable by now. While we approach the last 2 corners here. Didn't hit the apex too well in there. No corner cut warning, but the last corner was actually okay. And after the first half of the race, we're at 10 damage points for the engine, but this will increase even further with every corner we do. Approaching corner 1, that one was a bit rough, but we managed to keep it together. 11 damage points now. I need to start being a bit more cautious now. You will see that pretty soon. Not getting fully flat through every corner anymore, just being a bit more cautious with my gas pedal to prevent yeah, my engine from dying and from losing too much power, because this will, yeah, lead to my lap times increasing quite a bit at 14 already, but we're almost 12 to 13 seconds ahead, so I do have some breathing room. I do have some room to be a bit slower, to, yeah, to just chill, to preserve my engine, and so on and so forth. Let's see if this works out. I really hope it does. Still 12 seconds ahead. Therefore, I now really do have the time to be a bit more cautious with my engine. But I think that this will work out just fine. As you can see, my oil temperature is quite high with 260 Fahrenheit. That's basically boiling. Therefore, it's quite understandable that my engine is overheating that drastically, But yeah, fuel is looking good, and as you may see, the only little assist I do have activated here is a bit of ESP. So I'm almost driving without any assistance, and I'm getting through here quite well. Those GT endurance cars are basically, I like them. They're kind of easy to drive, they're quick, and yeah, that's basically it. They're easy to drive for me, even with controller, and they are quick. My engine is already at 22 damage points. Jay, you may need to be a bit more cautious. You're not that cautious until now. Lost 1.5 seconds lead already here. Only 10.5 to 11 seconds of lead left, but that actually still seems to be quite comfortable, considering that there are only 2.5 laps of racing to do. Or to go, actually. Going to the last few corners. This corner is actually my weak point, and I almost spin out here. That definitely cost me at least a second, and as you can see, my lead, it really is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and it's even shrinking to less than 10 seconds. It's shrinking to less than 10 seconds. It is increasing a bit now, I guess. Yes, it is, but it's less than 10 seconds of lead left. It should be fine for 2 laps, I guess. But now, as you can see on the map, we are approaching our good old friend the rammer once again. I do know what he's up to. He wants to ram me. Where do I go? I decide to go to the inside, and boom, he crashes into me. I bump right into the wall. I'm getting pretty angry, typing FU into the chat. Because, I mean, if you buy a sim racing software, a game, why are you ramming? What the hell? Why are you doing this? Why are you so... I mean, what's the reason? What's the motivation behind ramming? The rammer instantly leaves the race because he did not manage to ram me. As Super GT said, if you try to ram people, at least do it properly. So if you're a bad driver, that may be fine, but if you're a bad rammer, you're basically completely incompetent. But that's a different story. Our gap is shrinking to less than 8 seconds by now. Need to really be cautious with my engine by now. It's at 32 to 33 damage points. Need to start rolling through those corners to not die. Thankfully, it's only 1 lap and 1 corner more to go. So it may be fine in the end. At least that's what I hope. V gap is shrinking to less than 7 seconds, as I told you. And now we are starting our last lap, and we will be on the top 100%. The first corner was kind of wide from my side. Stewards are not complaining, therefore it may be fine. Just rolling it through here, not fully flat. Onto the last long straight, getting it full throttle here. You can see my top speed isn't as high as before. That's the reason for that is my engine starts to lag performance because of its damage level. Getting into the long right-hander here. Really cautious with the gas pedal. 40 damage points, that's not too good. Only 6 seconds of a lead left here, but I guess it will be fine in the end. Now to the steep right-hander, got the line just right. Cautious, less than 6 seconds. It's now or never, but go for it, and we are going for it. I guess my engine will survive, therefore I from now on can completely ignore its heat level and its damage level, because it's only a few more corners to go. It's, well, 10 seconds of lead now. So we won it. P2 spun out. Yes. This will be a victory for us, and this will be a dominant victory for us. This was great racing in this beautiful Ford. Oh my god, guys. What a great race. What an awesome race. What an awesome session. Wow. If I race like this, if I go into online communities like this, online racing really can be fun. It's so awesome to race with people like this. So fun, so great. Wow. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, please leave a comment, please leave a like, please leave a follow. And also, let's play sometime. So if you do play Project Cars 2 on PC, just send me a message and let's race each other. That would be absolutely awesome. Anyways, see you on the next one. Bye.